As far as the game, these guys have been so locked in. And I said to Matt right before the game, for what it's worth, I said it's amazing how that our game a couple weeks ago has turned things for both of us. You know, both were having pretty good years, and all of a sudden there's a difference, and we could see it on film watching them, without a doubt. And I feel it and see it every day when I'm with my team. And for the last, I think they've been getting better all year. But even when we were losing some games, I continually felt like these guys were improving. And I know sometimes that can get, you know, it get cross-eyed and people wonder when they don't see all the results the right way. But I knew they were, and they are, and they are getting better. And I think that's a great feeling as a coach. Senior day is a tremendous day, but it's different this year for a lot of reasons. And one, because I don't think we're anywhere near being where we want to be at this point. So, and that's a good feeling. But today was about understanding how hard we had to be defensively. The rebounding game, I think their offensive rebounding is to me, what might have been the most improved aspect of their team in the last few weeks, and the numbers say something else. But us watching them rebound, we rarely show a tape twice, but we led off the preparation with their offensive rebounding, and we closed it today with their offensive rebounding, because I think it's that good, and they keep a lot of things going. But our guys had a great spirit. They had a great mindset. They carried the preparation. They carried the week right into today. And they kept playing even when Purdue made a run. Our guys continued to be very serious-minded. It's not a mistake-free game. We know that. But they continued to really play at a high level. Christian Watford is playing at a very high level. Cody Zeller is. Jordan Hulls did some excellent things. Will Sheehy played with great confidence. He was the last guy off the court today after walkthrough, he and Victor. And just making sure they got their extra ball handling and their extra shots. Not because any coach said it, but because that's who they are. I thought our seniors did an excellent job of impacting the game. Verdell, Tom, and Matt, certainly. I mean, they did so many different things inside of the game. Matt's threes are a huge part of today, but it was also his defense. It was the ball movement. It was the way you have to guard him. It was him getting lost in the game. And Verdell did excellent work. And it's a fitting day. It's a fitting day for these guys to have a win like this, to beat a rival like this, to beat a team that arguably was playing as well as anyone in the last couple of weeks, and not just in the Big Ten, but around the country. So I haven't really studied the stat sheet as much, but I'm really proud of them, and proud of how they work. And again, they had a very good defensive mindset to start the game. We had a lot of deflections, and we just continue to understand what wins for us. Well, it's really important because, you know, I'm into the rebounding with Purdue, but the thing that's clear is how well they're moving without the basketball. And Robbie Hummel, it's like playing another version of Draymond Green this week, because everything is facilitated so much through Draymond. And he can pass, he can shoot threes, he can play on the post. Well, Robbie Hummel's the same way, and it's just a little bit more of a movement type of offense. And he was averaging 24 and over 7 in the last 5-6 games, and he was shooting the ball 16, 17 times a game. He was shooting over 6 free throws a game. Those are big numbers. And you got to put so much attention on him. And now what's changed since they had the change on their team is they just add another shooter to the lineup. And that's what makes them so dangerous to deal with. So that all being said, we had to move the ball. If this became a stagnant offense, and we showed some film of a couple of games where people didn't match their movement, and we knew they would come in here and want to get off to a great start, like they have in some other games, especially on the road. And that great start, all right, was going to be, we could not let them come down and have their way with us offensively. At the same time, we couldn't come down and be a first side team, be a quick shooting team. We had to play, and I thought our guys did a really good job of that.
You touched on this out there, but what is the legacy of this group that kind of built that bridge from where you were to where you are now and where you want to be?
They had no one to teach them. And I think that's where I just can't quantify enough how great it was for all those former players to come back here. They come back all the time, but those first couple of months and first 2 years was so big. It was so big because they had to have somebody, and they didn't absorb it all at the time. But the more that they had it, the more that they could get it. And I think, again, the thing to me which stands out so much now is that when you've played at Indiana, the program has always been bigger than any one person. It's about the way that people remember the teams. They remember the players certainly, but they remember the teams. And the teams here, in my mind, my recollection, were never people that were entitled or anything was bestowed upon them. As great as the tradition was, everybody had to come in here and earn their way in it. These guys have done that. They have done that. And differently than a lot of the great teams and a lot of the great 4-year segments. But they've done some things that others haven't done, and they can take that with them. The 3 top 5 wins and how we've played this year against the Indiana schools. I mean, there's so many things that they can take with them, and now they've earned their way in to a really, really strong tradition, because the one common theme is nothing ever gets handed to you at Indiana. You have to earn everything that comes your way, and they understand that now. Well, I think it's continual improvement. I don't know if I would just say it's 1, 2, 3 things, and it's both sides of the ball. It's ball movement. There's a real the ball is really moving, and our collective team defense is getting better. And we can do a lot of different things with matchups. We can do a lot of different things with switching, and we rise to the occasion right now. And I think that's what we need to continue to do.
What's the key when you guys come out shooting away? Did they down of 18 to 80s? Is it very big?
Well, I think it's the ball movement, because they move well. And again, it's this team plays well when the ball moves and the bodies move. And whether it's cutting, whether it's spacing, we added some things that we really didn't even get to because we wanted to have even better spacing for this game as we move forward into the tournaments and into the next game. But I think the biggest thing right now is that there's a respect this whole year. There's a respect for what others do. I mean, great example is last year. I think I said this the other day, but last year we were 162nd in the country in three-point percentage. As of the other day, we were 4th. Cody Zeller's got a lot to do with that. Hasn't even taken a 3 yet, because the ball moves so well. I mean, he gets so much attention, and it's never like he's forcing a shot. I mean, he's always finding an open person. I think when your best players move the ball, it becomes absolutely contagious and a way of life for everybody else. And if somebody doesn't move the ball well on this team, it stands out so much that we're going to sub. I mean, nobody wants to accept that. So the other thing is our break is getting better and can get better, and that's something we want to continue to really work on as we move forward.
Kind of play about that a little bit. Was the first half kind of a situation where everybody sort of was where you wanted to be offensively and getting the shots from that, big shots from Will, and you pretty much get what you hope.
Well, they read the game well. Our guys really read the game. I mean, and it was a movement game. Then there was a post-up part of it. And then all of a sudden Matt hits 2. We come out of a timeout. I mean, so we know they're not leaving him. Cody gets a dunk and on a pick-and-roll situation where Matt's replaced out of the post. Our guys really, really read the game well. I mean, they responded to the calls, but at the same time, they made plays. So, yes, and I think we have a group of guys now that they've matured, and there's enough respect for everybody that's on that court with them. Nobody goes and tries to do anything on their own, because you can't win that way. I'm not even there. We're not into thinking about the one and done, and we'll get into Penn State later tonight. We're into the next game. I'm not going to do a lot of stressing of tournament play and one and done and all that. It's not about that. It's about us continuing to get better, getting ready for the next game, because that's what we have done all year. And we'll have a game plan for Penn State like we do for everybody else, and it'll be specific to that game. We're not a program that just comes out and this is what we do and we're not going to change and this is how we play. I mean, we're very game plan specific, and that's what we'll do. I was a little nervous about that, but it was very important. And what I really would have liked to have done is got them all off, but it just didn't work out that way. So if you can't get them all off to an ovation, at least they all got to be on the court together for for their last game at Assembly Hall, and they'll have that memory. So it never works out. You can't spend a lot of time planning it, but I've always got something in the back of my mind that I'd like to do, and when you start planning that out, it never happens. But at the same time, I'm happy with the way it ended. They got to be on the court against a great, great team.
Just a final thought on having both Corey and Daniel out there today, two guys who really, they were the walk-ons on the team and made a really big impact.
Sure. Well, that's the key word, impact. They impact winning. And a lot of times it's not seen, by the public eye because of what they do in practices and how they are in the locker room and their spirit. But you get to see the living proof of it. I mean, the bench mob or whatever they call themselves, those guys don't have it easy. I mean, they go at it. And they've got coaches breathing down their necks, screaming at them to play that much harder and be that much more aggressive and do all these different things, and they do it. And they do it. And in answer to Bob's question, again, one of the things about this group that's so unique, outside of their character, the way they were raised, the way they are as students, they have all evolved into doing what it takes to be successful, what the team needs. And they didn't come in, I mean, JD showed a stat from the first game they ever played, Northwestern State. I mean, how many points, and just all five of those guys, what they did in that game. And times have changed. But it's changed for the better, and they've changed for the better in the sense of truly understanding what it takes for teams to be successful. They'll carry that. That's why they'll be so successful.
Can you touch on what made you so successful getting to the free throw line in the second half? Obviously, a lot of times Purdue fouling to extend the game, but there were a couple times broke out of a slump by getting to the line.
What do you mean broke out of a slump?
Well, I mean, there were a couple times the offense slowed down, but then you were able to get guys on the line.
Well, some of that was I was probably trying to control the game a little too much at certain points because we wanted to go a certain place because we did need to get to the foul line because we're a very good free throw shooting team and we got a tremendous record when we shoot X amount of free throws, and we didn't get that in the first half. And I saw the stat. I mean, their last two games they'd committed 8 fouls, right? They'd committed 8 fouls in 2 games. I mean, that's an aggressive team, but we needed to make sure that we could get the pace where we wanted it at the end of the game, and that's why, putting the ball inside, a couple of drives, things like that. The players, again, like I said earlier, they read the game very well.
This last 8-game stretch, 7 wins, last 8. I mean, you feel like you guys are playing your best basketball going into the tournament?
It would appear that way. I really don't think like that. I just don't. I mean, it's so much about the daily part. They're feeling very confident, but that confidence has got to continue to be hunger. It's like execution on offense. It's all about recognition. It's hey, let's come down to run this play. No, you got to recognize what's there, and that's what I'm saying. I keep saying it. They're reading the game better. We've tried to work so hard to keep telling us, what is the game giving you? What is the game giving you? And it's there. They're all playing, so they've got to be able to recognize it, and that's getting better. So there's a lot of things that are getting better. Mainly these guys, their work habits have been tremendous. But they're seeing the payoff of how hard they work, how much time they spend, and how much they're locked into what it takes to win each and every game.
This might be the same question I was just asked, but maybe in a different way. What's it mean to have this kind of momentum?
It's good as long as they keep understanding why we have it. And when we beat Ohio State early, I thought we lost our edge a little bit, but yet we were still winning games. And then when we lost that edge, and not by much, but you don't have to lose it by much in this league. You certainly don't have to lose it by much going where we're going this weekend and after that. I mean, you lose a little bit of edge, you've given momentum to the other team. Our guys need to keep understanding why they're being successful, and that edge needs to keep being created. And that's what practice is for, that's what film sessions are for, that's what their workouts are for. And I don't plan on changing much. But this bottom line is that we've got to continue, we're climbing. And the moment this group ever thinks they're doing anything other than that, we haven't been through it enough. And this is all new, right? So we've got to absolutely stay. I know it sounds cliche-ish, but it's real. We got to stay on a climb and keep understanding why improvement is so important.
Last question. Your emotions tonight, just finishing 18-1 at home, you had the kind of record you've had after the first 3 years. What is all this meant to you?
I'm pumped to get into that Penn State game. That's my emotions. You know what? It's on to the next thing. I love these guys. I really do. But I don't feel closure. I don't feel, you know, I've tried to force myself because I felt like press conference yesterday I didn't do a very good job of being reflective at all, and I'm not. You know, there's a lot to go, and I want to stay with that. So that's where my mind is, and my job's to make sure that everybody else's mind is there after tonight. Okay? Thanks.